and I'll spit you some game here. So when you're a setter and people outright say they don't have the budget for this, so
Mhm.
first of all, you should, if you're a setter, so guys, if you're a setter, you never want to, almost never, like never, never say the price in the
Uh,
DM, or talk about or try and pitch the program. Because that's the job of the closer. That's their job. Your job is to simply get them on the call, on the goddamn call. It's not your job to pitch them the program in the DM or sell the program. So how this is going to go is, let's say someone, I'm in the, because I get this sometimes. Let's say someone says, "Hey man, I don't think I have the finances for this." In the DM, don't have the finances. So I hold frame. If you don't have frame control, you probably do something like offer a discount because you're bending a knee. You're bending a knee to them, to their rules, their version of reality, and not holding your ground. So you probably offer a discount, like, "Oh no, it's okay, I'll just offer a discount, you're 50% off." Or yeah, usually that's what you do if you something along the lines of that, if you don't have frame control. What you want to do instead is this is my favorite line. If they say, again, my job as a setter is to get them on the bloody court. That's my job. I'm trying to get them on the court. And then the closer will say whether or not if they'll handle the finance objection. It's fine. So what I say is, no worries. And you can copy this, guys, if you want. If you have a DM, especially have a DM position, then you're good. You can copy this. So I say, no worries. Worst case scenario. Actually, no, I'd say, no worries. Would love for you to hop on. Jesus Christ. You to hop on anyways. Worst case scenario is you walk away with a ton of insight. Because you guys are they're still in the DMs. You haven't even hopped on a call yet. So how do they know? Provided you haven't told them the price, how would they know how much the program is? How would they know if they can really afford it or not? They haven't been on a call yet, so the closer hasn't worked his magic and created a separation, which you're going to figure out as you go more towards the course. Created a separation between the card and desired situation. Basically, they haven't gone on the call yet and generated that desire to make them want to say yes. Because in the DM, that's all you've had. You just had a DM interaction. So they can't just assume they don't have the finances because you haven't even been on a bloody call yet. You don't know how much the program is. You haven't told you. So how would you know you don't have the finances? So I just hold frame like this. I just say, look, no worries. Like, would still love for you to hop on anyways. So again, my job getting them on the call, still getting them on the call. Worst case scenario is you walk away with a ton of insight. So I feel like this kind of seals the deal because look, even if it's not a good fit, even if the call goes completely wrong, they're still gonna walk away with some value instead of walking away empty-handed. So whenever someone whips this at me, then I'll just tell them to hop on the call anyway and tell them the worst case scenario is to get a ton of free value. And then they'll say yes 9 times out of 10. Does that make sense? So you can copy this, it's fine. Copy this if you're a setter. I bet you can even say it if you're calling setting. So on the phone, you'd be like, let's say they say, yeah, sounds good, but I don't think we have the budget for this right now. You can just be like, oh, no worries, Greg. We'd still love for you to hop on a call anyway. Like based on what we heard so far, I mean, it seems like there could be potentially a fit, and you guys can figure it out on there. Worst case scenario is you just walk away with a ton of insight, and we give you a ton of free value at the end. So, would you still be opposed to carving out some time? And then they'll probably say yes. Are we good on this, guys?
Yep.
It's gone quiet.
I'm taking notes right now, so I'm.
Oh, okay. I'm sharing screen, so I can't see anyone. Are you guys good?
Wait, Well, I'm taking
Yep.
notes.
Yeah.
Okay, bet that's a relief. Put a one in the chat if this call's been valuable so far. Just trying to get a pulse check.
Yeah, it's definitely
One.
valuable. Yeah, I think
Sweet.
I'm gonna use that for my
Steal this raise.
triage.
Yeah, bro. Steal this. I know some of you guys are doing cold calling.
To receive the price.
You steal this. They throw that kind of stuff at you. Just don't bend to it. Don't bend to me.
Yeah, I'll stop talking and let someone ask questions because I'm for me,
Nah, you're good, bro.
I'm pretty straightforward, so I like to ask questions now.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. But I think my best piece of advice again is just try and get through the course as soon as possible because that could probably answer your questions. And
Right,
anything
okay.
more after that, you can just ask on the calls or ask me or Elijah.
Yo, Alec, that's fire. We could use that in triage. You say, oh, no worries. We'd love for you to stop on the call. I mean, obviously they have to have like some sort of income, but like I guess if they have feelings of doubt, like why not, right? Get a ton of insight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Inspire.
That's true. I mean, like, but we still, in order for us to like pass them on, we need to make sure they have 500 at least, bro. So
Yeah, of course. They have to have
But
like
then that's why they fill out the form to tell you.
yeah.
So the form can do that job. Or if not, then the closer can do that job. It's not your job to qualify. Well, it kind of is your job to qualify them because that's you're taking triage calls, but you don't have to qualify them as hard compared to the closer or the form itself.
True.
You're trying to get them on the calendar, my guy. If they throw stuff at you, because this works in a number of ways. If they say like, "Oh, I'm already working with a mentor," you can say this as well. Like, look, no worries. I totally understand. I mean, it's good you're already with a mentor. I'm sure he's been pretty good, but I mean, based on everything we talked about so far, it'd be really valuable if you hop on anyway. I mean, worst case scenario is you walk away with a ton of insight, and it never hurts to have options, right? So I like to say this as well. Feel free to say this as well. Never hurts to have options because who doesn't like options? Yeah. So this is elite Riz that you're only gonna get here, and this is tried and tested. Yeah, go for it.
So say because where everyone is now on the grand scheme of closers and setters right now, like the products we provide, they're not very popular, I guess. But say if like Elijah and you guys were to build this whole group up to like a really high stage, like a high level, and then like a lot of people know about you guys, then would everything have to change, like the way you speak to people? Because would you have to make it seem like you're, I don't know, make them chase you instead of you chase them?
Excuse me. So what you're asking is, as this industry grows, do we have to change our approach?
Yeah.
Good question. If it gets more popular, which I think it is in the next couple of years, then obviously we're going to be changing our approach here and there because stuff can get old and it's our job, it's our responsibility to provide it in the program and teach you guys how to adapt. But for the most part, bro, everyone's going to need setters. Everyone's going to need closers till the dawn of time, till the end of time.
Mm-hmm. Because saying, well, what did you write before? You were like, having options doesn't hurt.
Like, yeah, I mean that's our job, man. That's
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But say if this whole course that we're selling, like, is something that a lot of people need, then I guess, I don't know, saying something like, oh, having options doesn't hurt or something, kind of defeats the purpose of, I don't know, it brings down the value of the course because the person thinks, oh, I don't know, they don't need to take it seriously.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I know what you mean by that, bro. I mean, I've never had a bad experience from saying this. Yeah, you can make an argument that it does devalue it, but I've never had a bad experience with it. What I'm trying to say when I say this is, yeah, to a degree, it's like they don't take it as seriously. But again, I've never had a bad experience with it. It's more so because people like to have multiple options. People like it when you put the ball in their court and they have freedom of choice. And then as long as the closer does his job, because again, it all ties back into knowing what the responsibilities are of the setter and the closer. Their job is to just get them on the bloody court. The closer there is then going to make sure that the program that they're selling is the only option. But there is no other option. This is the one you need to go for, and here's why. So that's their job. So saying this, never had a bad experience. Their frame of mind going into it, yeah, they might start off, okay, I'm kind of shopping around. But then the closer, if they're good, you're going to set them straight. And then that's their job. You don't have to worry. Make sense?
Yeah.
Sweet. Alec put in the chat, you'd only say that options thing when someone says already in a mentorship, right? You could say this. Yeah, you can say it like that. Yeah, I think you can say it just for that right now. Like, because if you said it with finances, maybe it doesn't hit as hard, doesn't make much sense, but I find it handy when they're already working with a mentor, for example. Let me see if I can find, like, I'll stop sharing screen for a bit. Let me see if I can find some other objections that get thrown at me. Because there are quite a few.
Oh, what happens to religious objections?
Religious objections, so they need to, like, they need to pray on it.
Like, they say something like, "Oh, I need to go check with my local sheikh or my local pastor or something like that." I don't know, like, is this right or is this wrong? Is this legal? I don't know. Does this the way I'm making money? Is it morally correct or something? I don't
know. I've never had that, so I can't really speak from experience. But I think you just handle that like any other objection. Like ask Homero, because he used to sell for a Christian coach. I don't know if he told you that. He used to sell for a coach who would primarily help Christian business coaches. So the objection that he'd get a lot is, I need to pray on it. So he'd know how to handle that. So I'd definitely ask him, maybe on the next call. But for the most part, I think you just treat it as a smokescreen, even if it's religious. Now, obviously, don't be disrespectful about it, but you know, you probe, you ask, okay, what do you mean by that? Stuff like, yeah, I'd ask him already because he's had that before. Okay. Let me see if there's any other. Let me see if there's any other objections that I get. No. Worst case scenario. Okay. I think I got it, guys. So yeah, you actually go, Alec. You can actually say that because I have this written down. You can actually say that if they don't have money to invest. If they give you the money objection, if they say they don't have money to invest, just be like, yeah, I totally understand. Like, never hurts to have options. Worst case scenario, though, we'd just still love to have you hop on the call, so you leave with a little bit more insight. Would you be opposed to that? And then they'll say, yeah, so it actually does make sense.
Okay, bet.
Here's another one you can do. I'll share my screen right now. Here's another one you can do if they say they're already working with someone. You can say, this goes for cold call NDM. Would still love to have you hop on in case we could possibly work together in the future. Now, if you say that with full conviction, now I feel like this is only going to work with full conviction. You could say this because look, let's say the truth. Like one mentor is probably not going to change your life. It's a multitude of mentors and it's a multitude of education that's going to change your life. So sometimes it can. Sometimes that one mentor is all you need. But for most people, I know for myself, I've had to have multiple mentors and I've had to have multiple sources of education and guidance. So there's nothing wrong with asking or proposing that there's a possibility you guys could work together in the future. because that could very well happen, especially if they like to invest in themselves, which is a good sign. They'll work with multiple mentors. So you can say that. You can say, we'd love to still have you hop on in case we possibly work together in the future. You can say that. Yeah, are we good, guys? Are we on the same page?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Sweet.